It is Tuesday, the 27th day of August 2019. Hello there and welcome to News Tonight. First though, let's have a look at our top stories. In our news tonight, Uganda Airlines inauguration, a deal for business.
Tension in Kamocha's 2,000 people face evictions.
Elsewhere in the world, Amazon fires Brazil to reject G7 offer of $22 million in aid.
With All Africa Games, boxing now a sure bet to get All Africa Games medal.
Hello there and welcome once again on Sign Language. We've just been joined by Mugalu Mohammed.
I'm Patricia Lukoma.
And I'm Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma. And Patricia Lukoma will be returning later on to give us everything that's happening in the world of business, international news and sports. But let's get started now. The Kenyan government has welcomed the Uganda Airlines for business in the region. Now, during a media briefing in Kenya after the Uganda Airlines touched Nairobi International Airport, the minister says it's a good move towards East African community integration. Take a look.
The task to revive the Uganda Airlines was overwhelming. We have received very good support and guidance from your technical team and other industry experts, most of whom are present and which made it possible. And I want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for your contribution to this landmark achievement. And it is for this reason that we chose to celebrate with you our today's launch of Uganda Airlines, among the so many other destinations.
Just shows your commitment towards EAC integration, like we all expect, like we have all witnessed through the actions of your President Museveni in Uganda. Today, I guess there are many winners through this wonderful event that we are witnessing today. Number one, in my view, EAC is a winner, because this flight and this airline is going to play a key role within East Africa to complement the flights and the journeys that have been made by Kenya Airways and Air Tanzania and Rwanda Air as well. So as East Africa region, we welcome and celebrate this new achievement, this new addition to the aviation journey, aviation industry that would benefit all of us.
That's what happened in Nairobi. But of course, remember that today Uganda Airlines launched the commercial operations with a familiarization trip to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Nairobi, and flight number UR202 took off earlier on from Entebbe International Airport at 12 noon and was received by officials, as you've just seen there on your screen, by officials from the Kenyan government at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. And of course, later on, they addressed journalists and our reporters. We're glad that they returned, and we'll be giving you a detailed and comprehensive story about what happened in Nairobi and their return trip back to Kampala. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni declined to assent to the Minimum Wage Bill 2015 into law, saying there are no gaps in the Minimum Wage Advisory Board. Now, this communication was contained in an August 21st, 2019 letter read to Parliament by Speaker Rebecca Kadaga on Tuesday afternoon. However, Arua Municipality Member of Parliament Zati Kasiano Wadri faults the Attorney General for not providing technical guidance during the passing of the bill. Henry Okorot reports.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Cabinet awaits a report from the Minister of Gender on the implications of fixing a minimum wage to investment and the economy. This is one of the reasons why President Yoweri Museveni did not assent to the minimum wage bill.
However, on the 21st August 2019, the President wrote to me under Article 91.3, notifying me that he refuses to assent to the bill. I'm required under Article 91.6a of the Constitution to present the same bill for your consideration.
In a letter to Parliament dated 21st August 2019, President Yoweri Museveni says there are no gaps in the Wages Council Act that the bill seeks to address. In the letter addressed to Speaker of Parliament Rebecca Kadaga, Museveni argues that the current law is adequate.
I have received the minimum wages bill for assent. Having received advice from the Attorney General and pursuant to Article 91(2)(c) of the Constitution, I hereby refuse to assent to the bill for the following reasons. 1. There are no gaps in the minimum wages advisory boards and Wages Council Act that the bill seeks to cure. The current law is adequate and enforceable.
The bill seeks to empower Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development to appoint a minimum wages board. The bill will fix all minimum wages for various sectors, mandating the minister to make annual announcements.
Even the way we passed that law, there was a lot lacking. I think it's an opportunity that if we have brought it back, we are going to take keen interest and dissect it very well to benefit the Ugandans. Why am I saying so? Even the threshold that was decided by Parliament, personally, I was not impressed. I think it is now an opportunity for me to also to input on when we decided we start the debates.
For not providing technical guidance during the debate and passing of the bill, the Attorney General is faulted for partly influencing the decision of the President.
The Attorney General is a member of this House. Why did he deny us his technical advice at the time when this law was being considered? And that would have been the time. But now, if he is supposed to be the legal advisor to government and a member of this House, and he's not here to give us that technical advice, and he waits until when Parliament has done its work and sent it to the President, and the President says, on the advice of the Attorney General, is he not doing a disservice to this House, Right Honourable Speaker?
In February 2019, Parliament passed the Minimum Wage Bill of 2015, seeking to set up a minimum wage determination mechanism across different economic sectors. Henry Okorot, UBC.
And still, members of Parliament have tasked the Ministry of Finance to procure bicycles for local council chairpersons as earlier promised. Now, this comes after State Minister for Finance David Bahati told Parliament that government will not procure bicycles for LCs this financial year.
This financial year, we do not provide resources to complete the procurement of the bicycles for LC1, and we are providing money for next financial year 2021 to buy the bicycles.
In 2018, the government promised to procure bicycles for all local council chairpersons across the country. About Uganda shillings 8 billion was to be spent on the procurement of bicycles for 200 sub-counties and town councils in the country.
Madam Speaker, on several occasions, we have lived to see Ministry of Finance bring supplementary. They say it's going to do this. You will finish the year when it has not executed the work. Could we use this House, Madam Speaker, and ask the Minister of Finance specifically to have money in the form of supplementary?
When you visit these villages, we are under pressure. The government promised us bicycles. You are not, the government is not providing bicycles. Can you, as a member of Parliament, now give us bicycles so that we are able to execute our work? This is the pressure we are having in the villages as we move.
Although Minister of Finance was supposed to have started the procurement process, there were some delays. Minister David Bahati told Parliament that the ministry can only purchase these bicycles in the next financial year.
The resources have been an issue. We are tempted to buy bicycles, but unfortunately corrupt people could not allow us. And now we have reached where we are.
Legislators, however, tasked the Minister of Finance to find a loan or supplementary to service the purchase of the bicycles.
So what I'm saying, there is money. And not only for LOC1s, Madam Speaker, even LOC3s don't have motorcycles. So, Madam Speaker, I want to request this House that as they buy bicycles for LOC1s, they also include the motorcycles for LOC3s.
Now, we should look for a solution for the issue of bicycles this year, not next year. Remember, elections will be there from, of course, nomination according to the electoral commission from August. From August, the other side, onwards, we shall be talking about elections. Now that means that causes a big problem.
There was also an argument whether LCs within the city centre receive motorcycles.
Colleagues, you would bear with me. We need hooting to travel. You cannot just have a bicycle and you are really moving on roads in Kampala as a leader. I was just expressing that thing and I was saying, Madam Speaker, if instead of bicycles for Kampala, Capital City Authority, it would be motorcycles for the leaders to actually be doing their work. The information, thank you.
So the information I want to give you that LOC1s of Butaleja, Kamuli and Kampala, they are all LOC1s. Yeah, because you refuse the qualifications.
There are areas in this country which are quite difficult. Look at the Sebei area. What will a bicycle mean to a Sabini up there in the mountain? Even if you bought a bicycle and took it there, I don't think the Sabini will get any opportunity even to mount it for once.
State Minister David Bahati insisted that the ministry can only procure these bicycles in the next financial year.
The old LCs must get their bicycles. The present LCs must get their bicycles. Then we should have a separate motion on facilitation.
The commitment we are giving, Madam Speaker, you know the issues are surrounding the budgets, the competing demands. I agree with you when you say that let the budget committee now monitor for 2021.
The bicycles that were to be purchased for LCs were meant to facilitate supervision of service delivery programs in respective villages. Susan Naong and Gloria Guitabinji reporting for UBC.
Bicycle matters in Parliament there. Meanwhile, Cabinet has stopped construction of a 360-megawatt hydropower project at Uhuru Falls until future studies are done in event of any hydrologic changes in the ecosystem. While addressing the press at the media center here in Kampala about this cabinet decision, Minister for Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, Ephraim Kamuntu, said the falls and park will be preserved for tourism. Nafka Farida gives us more.
Maction Falls National Park near Uhuru Falls is a tourist attraction seated on 3,893 square kilometers. It attracts about 100,000 tourist visitors every year. Investors wanted to construct high-end lodges near the park and contracts are about to be signed. Government had plans to construct a 360-megawatt hydropower project.
To increase accommodation of tourists as part of tourism chain, you have to increase this. Billions of investments already being negotiated for high-end location in the site proposed for this hydropower. So if it was to be there, we would have a problem. These investments would be cancelled, and to cancel them would also have to pay compensation.
With a growth rate of tourism, it is projected that Maction Falls National Park will earn Uganda shillings 72 billion within 5 to 10 years. This is one of the reasons why Cabinet made a decision to halt construction of a hydropower project.
We can get 360 megawatts of electricity that was intended to be generated by this hydropower project elsewhere. In fact, the analysis is Ayago itself in the present form, if it was upgraded, it can get that amount of energy. There are alternative sources You can also get energy from the solar. There is nuclear energy which is also being explored.
Meanwhile, Cabinet has approved a Refugee Appeals Board and appointment of Board of Directors for National Information Technology Authority Uganda. I'm Nafka Farida, reporting in Kampala.
Thank you, Farida, for that story there. And let's continue with the health sector. And we go to Mulego Cancer Institute, where Uganda Cancer Institute is receiving more children being diagnosed with cancer. Now, the in-charge pediatric department at the Uganda Cancer Institute, Dr. Joyce Kambugu, confirms in 2017, 512 children were diagnosed with cancer, and in 2018, the number rose to 582. Adiana Kuti reports.
Cancer is the growth of abnormal cells which divide uncontrollably and destroy the body tissues. Unlike cancer in adults, causes of cancer in children are not well known.
95% of the time. And this is very frustrating, but scientists around the world are working very hard to try and determine what are the causes of cancer in children. Unlike adults, where causes are known, like alcohol consumption, like excessive smoking, and so forth. In children, the causes of cancer have not yet been found.
In adults, there are many types of cancer, but in children, there are majorly 4 types that include blood cancer, also known as leukemia, cancer of the kidney, muscles, and lymph nodes. At the Uganda Cancer Institute, children seeking treatment for cancer are increasing.
But it is our belief that these children are not increasing because cancer is increasing in Uganda per se among children. We think that this is more a reflection of improved awareness in the community, both the parents and the health workers. They are now thinking a little bit more that what the child might have when the child is sick is cancer. And so they are looking for it, finding it, and sending them to the Cancer Institute.
But what are some of the outstanding symptoms pointing to cancer in children?
And it's very frustrating because the common signs of cancer in children mimic a lot the common diseases of childhood. Things like fever, things like bleeding easily, things like requiring repeated blood transfusions. Having said that, there are key things that you need to be aware of. If your child has fever that doesn't seem to be improving, they treat your child for malaria this week, 2 weeks later again there is fever, and you go back, they treat malaria a second time, a week later you go back. So fever that doesn't seem to be resolving. In fact, symptoms that don't seem to be resolving, like fever too, bleeding excessively. Your child has a tooth that falls out and bleeds for the whole night. That is not normal. Your child is knocked by something very light and already there's a very big black mark. That is not normal and it could be a sign of cancer. Pain in the bones. Bone pain is an ominous sign. Back pain is an ominous sign that should make you look. White color of the eye. There are a number of signs, or a swelling anywhere.
Unlike adults, chances of children surviving cancer are very high. The length of treatment depends on the type of cancer, but the minimum period is 6 months. These children, totaling to 150, are cancer survivors.
It's known as, the cancer I'm talking about is known as leukemia, which can also be called as blood cancer. I started my treatment and by 2014 I had completed my medicine and I was checked to have none. So I'm happy today to be a survivor.
We started from there. The girl could lose blood every now and then. The girl could lose blood from the nose and it could swell.
However, children suffering from cancer face discrimination in the communities they stay and at school.
They were like, that girl, after getting that disease, let them just stop spending money. Others were recommending us to witch doctors. Others were like, let us prepare grapes. But my mom was very strong and we come and took the medicine. So I encourage all of them to be strong. Let them just accept the medication, treat well the doctors and listen to doctors' advice.
I want to appeal to people out there. Do not segregate or isolate these little children who have cancer or who have had cancer before. You cannot get cancer by playing with a child who has had cancer before. Your child at school cannot get cancer because they have sat next to a child who had cancer.
Although children have more chance of surviving from cancer due to late diagnosis, most of them delay to access treatment. Adiana Kute, UBC.
Thanks, Dia. And of course, there in that story, you can see that children can actually survive cancer, and it all goes back to early treatment. Now on to land matters, where the Commission of Inquiry into Land Matters has issued criminal summons to Jinja West Member of Parliament Moses Balieku for engaging in illegal sale of Plot 24 Chabazinga Way, Nalufenya in Jinja Municipality. The chairperson of the Commission, Justice Catherine Bamgemerere, says Balieku has resorted to calling commissioners instead of appearing. He has therefore been summoned through the Speaker of Parliament to appear not later than Thursday, August the 29th.
Problem is those who don't and those who manufacture all of this are some sophisticated group of people, just a clique of people, some cliques of people who are not very many, but they who think that Jinja is their town.
Thank you, and my last word to you, keep positive, keep strong. Whatever happens, you must keep positive.
I am made to understand Mr. Wajeku has also been summoned previously, and he has not honored commission summons.
So I think he's dragging his feet. We might help him to move a bit faster. So criminal summons do hereby issue for the Honorable Balieku Moses. He's a Member of Parliament for Jinja West, and these criminal summons will be served through the Right Honourable Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, and we shall expect his attendance to answer questions in relation to the irregular allocation of land in LRV 352, Folio 22, Plot 24, Chabazinga Way, Nalufenya, Jinja Municipality. And further orders are that it is an offence to ignore, to disobey, or to fail to appear before the Commission of Inquiry without sufficient cause. And finally, I would like to particularly warn Honorable Balieku to stop making calls to so many commissioners instead of appearing before the Commission. We have information that he keeps calling people. He's calling everybody, even I think tried to call my number, I gave it to my bodyguard. This business of calling the Commission when you are supposed to appear before the Commission should stop. Just appear before the Commission and state your case. Simple. And I hope that we won't be hearing this type of insolent behavior again. So summons will issue for the 29th of August 2019 at 9 a.m.
Looks like MP Balieku could be in hot soup for not appearing before the Land Commission. Now, the Ministry of Health is set to implement the Universal Health Coverage Program through intersectoral approach. At the official opening of the 3rd Symposium of Universal Health Coverage, Minister for Primary Health Care, Joyce Kadushu, called for public-private partnership for health development across the country.
At the 3rd Symposium on the Partnership, Policy and Systems Development for Universal Health Coverage, financial hardships was raised for the ill health of the country's population.
High rate of teenage pregnancies. 76% of Uganda's population is aged below 30 years, and a staggering 48% is 15 years or younger. And this, to an extent, places at risk our efforts to achieve universal health coverage.
The government still, through our parent ministries, to continue supporting us with adequate funding, modern research, infrastructure, and interest in what we do.
Maka University School of Public Health is implementing the SPEED project and is responsible for policy analysis, advice, and influence universal health coverage and health system resilience in Uganda. The Vice Chancellor of Maka University, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, says limited resources hinder research projects.
We are calling on government through your office to continue to allocate universities more funds from the national budget so that we can conduct more research that addresses national needs and priorities.
While officiating at the event, State Minister for Primary Health Care Joyce Kaducho says the ministry is finalizing new guidelines for implementing universal health coverage.
Almost at the end of developing a comprehensive roadmap to universal health coverage that will guide long-term planning for this direction. Funds were allocated towards research. 30 billion, as we know, has been allocated towards research. And I am very hopeful that this country, this government, will continue to prioritize research on the top agenda of this country. And for
the keynote speaker at the symposium, Joshua Dambisha, says African countries need not to concentrate on foreign health aid while drafting national.
We apologize for that, but we do believe that that story had not yet ended. Now let's go to matters pertaining to fighting corruption, where fighting graft and related crimes in Uganda remains a task even with specialized courts to try perpetrators. The head executions and bailiffs division of the High Court, Justice Duncan Gaswaga, says the situation is exacerbated by the inability of the division to implement court orders due to way perpetrators operate. He was discussing with journalists ways the Fourth Estate can handle increasing cases of corruption. Let's get more in this report.
A fundamental arm of government that basically stands between the public and policy. But of recent, cases of graft have taken the media by surprise. So, to concretize their role, media practitioners are training to strengthen Uganda's anti-corruption response.
What do we hope for in these interactions? That we will have a crop of the media, both editors and reporters, journalists, that will, first of all, understand the whole issue of the anti-corruption efforts going on in Uganda, but also be able to craft that knowledge into consumable information for the general public that you will hopefully find both sensational but also meaningful to report to the general public.
In a keynote address, renowned journalist Joachim Buembo encourage journalists to explain the consequences of a given crime to the common man.
If you're going to give me a story which does not give consequence, then please don't give me that story. Because whatever story you give me, the question is, by me I mean me, the public. The question is, so what? Where are you telling me this? How does it affect me?
At the training, the head, Execution and Bailiffs Division of the High Court, Justice Duncan Gaswaga, explained why executions of the court orders still prove impossible.
Files get lost, and at times some of the files you find they're incomplete. Some crucial documents have been plucked out, and there is a public outcry. There was a public outcry at that time. We've tried to do something to ensure that this never happens again, and I want to assure you that it has gone down tremendously right now because of some steps we've taken. It now takes much less time for one to locate a particular file if they are looking for it, and it's going even to take under 5 minutes once we go to the next steps, to the next step of our reforms, because we intend to computerize completely such that we have all the documents that are filed in our registry digitized.
The training was on the theme Citizen Engagement in Uganda's Anti-Corruption Response. Dorcas Kimono, UBC TV News.
Now, River Unyama has burst banks, destroying property and paralyzing business in Elegu border town of Amuru district. Now, the floods that started in the wee hours of the morning got stronger at around 2 p.m. in the afternoon, displacing over 2,000 people. Now, all business premises were closed down. Residents blamed the persistent problem of floods to poor water drainage constructions on the main highway to South Sudan through Elegu town. It is not the first time that that such floods have occurred. It is said that this year alone the floods have occurred 3 times.
Are you there?
It is coming to 29 minutes to the hour of 11 here in the studios of UBC TV. We'll now take a short break, but Patricia Lukoma will be returning with what's happening in the world of business. Stay with us.
Every dream has a challenging journey. Ours began in 1998 with a mission to drive the development of a robust communications sector in Uganda. We created structures to champion the dream. We've evolved, made discoveries, supported great minds, empowered Ugandans, and fostered a vibrant culture, enabling communication for all. Down the years, we've created memories and networks, uniting generations and building great partnerships. Together, we can go even further. UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
Displays that will leave you enthralled. Make a date with us during the first Sunday of every month. With over 2,000 participants at one venue, we aim to keep healthy, network, ensure viable brand positioning, and make friends while having fun during our monthly sports festival.
Have you completed Senior 4 or Senior 6 and you want to do a 2-year certificate or a diploma course? Makerere Institute for Social Development, an affiliate to Makerere Business School, offers programs in accounting and finance, business administration, procurement and supplies management, social work and social administration, information technology, counseling and guidance, human resource, project planning and management, journalism, secretarial studies, and many others. We are located on Apollo Kegwa Road, next to Oilcom Petrol Station, with a UBTEP Center number.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pain Arena. Introducing on the right corner, Mr. Action, the reigning heavyweight champion in the ring against
the Headache, the #1 contender. And the bell rings.
Headache charges forward with a steady right and a left hook. Action dodges. He misses out with an inch. Wait a minute. Mr. Action launches back with a kick. The final blow. He is out.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Welcome to the first ever Uganda-Tanzania Business Forum and Exhibition taking place on the 4th and the 5th of September 2019 at the Julius Nyerere International Convention Center in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Come and explore new business and investment opportunities. Come and participate in open plenary discussions on finance, bilateral trade, infrastructure, extractives, and their challenges before the heads of state, government ministers, and policy makers, as well as showcasing your products and services at the business exhibition. Registration is now open. Log on to www.businessforum.biz today and register to participate in the 2019 Uganda-Tanzania Business Forum. Call us on 752-470-214 Uganda, and for Tanzania 784-323-068. The Uganda-Tanzania Business Forum is organized by and is proudly sponsored by
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pain Arena. Introducing on the right corner, Mr. Action, the reigning heavyweight champion in the ring against
the Headache, the #1 contender. And the bell rings.
Headache charges forward with a steady right and a left hook. Action dodges. He misses out with an inch. Wait a minute. Mr. Action launches back with a kick. The final blow. He is out.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Welcome to the Business Desk. Once again, I'm Patricia Lukoma. Mogalo Mohammed is still with us on sign language. 35 minutes past 10 o'clock, and let's get started. Uganda National Farmers Federation is negotiating with European Union on economic partnership to allow Ugandan farmers export their products into the European market. Now, this comes at a time when the European Union threatened to ban Uganda's farmers' exports on the market, of course, due to some issues, but apparently the European Union market is due to excessive use of pesticides by Ugandan farmers. They had been banned due to the fact that they use excessive pesticides. These are Ugandan farmers. Let's have the details in our story.
Reports from Ministry of Agriculture in Uganda indicated that European Union threatened to block Ugandan farmers' exports on the European market due to excessive use of chemicals. This concern compelled Uganda National Farmers Federation to discuss with the European Union on economic partnership agreement, allowing Ugandan farmers to export their products onto European Union.
The European Union has an obligation. We are negotiating everything, economic partnership agreement with them. And this economic partnership agreement binds them to provide everything but arms to the entry into the European Union.
They are also in discussion with farmers on the policy that will enable farmers improve food standards required at the global market.
So we are in policy discussions on how we can enable our farmers to be able to improve their standards and ensure that we have entry into the market.
Meanwhile, Ugandan youth have been tipped on available resources and technology, enabling them to join agriculture and targeting the food demand that is expected to increase by 2030.
Now, if we as a nation organized our youth, we could tap an increase in demand, comes with an increase in prices, and there comes with an increase in returns on the investment in agriculture sector.
I am saying that this should be an opportunity for all the young farmers in this country to tap, and then we change it into something that can drive the entire continent. We are very sure that we can feed the world.
Uganda and German farmers have launched Young Farmers International Exchange Program for youth from both countries to exchange agricultural ideas.
And then other young farmers from Germany will also come to be hosted on the farms that you have seen. All those farms are not in Europe, they are Ugandan farms. And the qualifying Ugandan participants will have an all expenses paid 3-month stay in Europe.
Now, innovation there, or we can call it a capacity building in the agricultural sector. Now, the agriculture tutors from Tanzania are at Uganda Matters University in Kozi to understand how to integrate into the new teaching curriculum for training agriculture experts. Dr. Mashaka Madange, the Director of Training in the Ministry of Agriculture, Tanzania, led the tutors.
Tutors from various learning institutions in Tanzania visited Nkozi University to harmonize new knowledge with the old curriculum. Dr. Mashaka Mdangi from the Directorate of Training in the Ministry of Agriculture Tanzania, who led the delegation, said the visit is collaboration with regional institutions to enrich the new curriculum.
We have several models, but we are just moving to make sure that the available tutors are experienced, to make sure that the education given is of more competent rather than knowledge-based.
The collaboration seeks solutions to the burden of climate change, which demands mitigation to reverse the trends of bad climate. The Vice-Chancellor, Uganda Matters University, Reverend Father Chrysostom Mavili, assured the delegation that Nkozi is the field of knowledge exchange.
I'm happy that you have come here because that is a key point of an education institution, to share knowledge and to work together for the integral development of humanity, such that knowledge normally is universal.
Sustainable Agriculture Tanzania is spearheading the knowledge collaborating exercise.
There is a lot of experience and expertise here in the field of organic farming and agroecology, but as well as in the academic programs.
Uganda Matters University is running the African Center of Excellence project in agroecology and livelihood.
Now, in the areas of gender and business, UNDP, in partnership with Private Sector Foundation and Stanbic Bank in Kampala, have signed a gender equality seal in a bid to overcome the current barriers to women's economic participation in the country. The government of Uganda, and together with UNDP country program of the 2016 to 2020, recognizes that gender equality is a seal for the country. Now, equality and women's empowerment as the cornerstone for sustainable, and it is for inclusive development.
I want to thank my brother, Maxime. You came with this initiative, which I think all of us in the private sector were envious about, really getting everyone and talking about economic empowerment of women, away from handouts. Because for so long a time, people have been like paupers. They are waiting to be given. Empower them economically so that they can improve.
And this particular case, we are looking at workplace practices. We are looking at empowering women into higher decision-making processes and at decision-making levels. We're talking about equal pay. We're talking about equal opportunities. And we're glad this afternoon to be part of that story. And that story is also important for Uganda in a number of ways as we look forward to the achievement of Vision 2040. We can't do that without women.
I believe we can come up with a new positive narrative that is based on positive values, but also links us to the future. And here again, Patrick, we were having a discussion about how do we link these new technologies, blockchain, that are coming up to the way we do business and to the way we evolve. At the same time, let us remember how many girls actually make it to science and math, how many actually make it out of secondary school. So we cannot be talking about the fourth industrial revolution if we don't go back and look at what's happening with girls in schools.
Time to look at what's happening on the financial markets. Let us start with the Forex, where the shilling seems to be, appreciating by 3,681.13, 3,691.13. Let's take a look at the financial markets. And on the stock market, the DFCU, traded around 1,500 shares there. We saw the bank that led the wagon was Stanbic Bank Uganda Limited, trading almost 29,000 shares there. We see financial institutions really performing well on the Uganda Securities Exchange. Quickly onto the Uganda Securities Exchange performance. Turnover stands at 1.77 million Ugandan shillings. That is what exchanged hands this time around. And of course, trading 29,000 shares. That is a lower volume in terms of participation on the Uganda Securities Exchange there. As you can see, the all-share index that joins the local share, and at the same time, the cross-listed counters on the Uganda Securities Exchange totaled to 1,593. That's it from the financial markets.
Brought to you by Bet with 1xBet.
Sports as we start with the All Africa Games. Uganda is now a sure bet to win a medal at the ongoing All Africa Games that are inching closer to the end in Morocco. Now this follows success in the boxing ring and the positive performances in track and in the field.
Boxing has once again shown for Uganda at the ongoing All Africa Games in Morocco. Two of Uganda's pugilists, David Semuju and Isaac Masembe, are already into tomorrow's semi-final, which automatically guarantees a medal. The rules of engagement are that both semi-final losers get a bronze medal, with the winners eyeing silver and gold in the final. David Semuju beat Equatorial Guinea's Obama Raoul in a middleweight bout, and Isaac Masembe outclassed Wilson Semedo of Cape Verde in the featherweight.
I feel proud, but my aim is not just stop on semi-finals. My aim is to go on finals, and I know I'll make it. I'll come back with a gold medal. We came here, Bombers, we came for gold medals.
Uganda was, however, unlucky because lady boxer Nali Jalia was ejected by Mali's Marin Kamara, as was Businje champion by Kenyan Shafi Bakari. Good news for Uganda is that the track and field team is still with perfect momentum despite losing out on the women's 5,000 meters medal, when Asara Chelangat finished 4th and compatriot Chesang Stella 7th.
The race went as planned, but I can't tell. The Ethiopians went there 3 and Kenyans went there 2 against one person. They tend to block you, and if you don't open up your ways early, you cannot recover the rest.
Pursuit on the track continues on Wednesday evening with various semi-finals and a final in the 10,000 meters by Monday Oshendich. Uganda also has a shot at table tennis, weightlifting and badminton. John Barnes, Centum, reporting.
And that's all in the All Africa Games. Now turning to football, Uganda Premier League champions KCC Football will tussle it out with the newly promoted FUFA Big League champions Proline Football Club. Now the Super Cup final will be on the 28th of August 2019 at StarTimes Stadium in Legogo.
Suffering a 2-0 defeat against Vipers FC in the just concluded Super 8 final, Uganda Premier League defending champions are vying to go back to winning ways as they tussle it out in the Uganda Super Cup finals when they host Proline FC on Wednesday. Mark Hilary Mtebi, KCC FC tactician, asserted that his players will not take chances in the competition.
Must win. We want to win. The mentality of being champion has been embedded in the players. They want to win everything, you see. So every competition we enter into, we must go with this winning mentality. And of course, when you win, you always get motivated more, you know. And remember, I think we have taken this competition, this trophy, I think, third. So they must introduce another one.
We are taking this game so serious, regardless of whether I played there before. We want to win again. We want to have the confidence back. We want to get the momentum for the league that comes up in a couple of days. So we shall take the game serious, and all the players are ready.
Matia Lule, the new Proline FC head coach, is optimistic that his players will outclass KCC FC.
Any game, it has its own approach. The way we approached Malawi Masters is different to the way how we are going to approach KCC. The way KCC approaches the Vipers, it was different. So there is no way you can come in a game and say that because KCC have lost, we are going to win the game. No. But what I can say is that our boys, they are set in mind, they are tactically set, and physically fit for tomorrow's game. That's what I can say.
Okelo and Sadat Anaku will lead the search for goal for KCCFC, while Hakim Chwanuka, Alani Gapu, Ivan Bogere are anticipated to lead the striking line for Proline FC. Uganda Super Cup is a competition played between the Premier League champion and the Uganda Cup champion. For UBC, Helen Barbara, Jizamba.
In the University League, the National University Football League resumes in high gear with draws for the quarterfinals conducted at the Katikati Lugugu, with the first round of the matches anticipated climax on the 4th of September 2019. Two-time champion Makerere Business School Square ties against a semi-final tie where matches are to be played in the home and away format.
Of finals of 2017, why not 2015? I'm very glad that I qualified to quarterfinals because it is not easy first, and it's good to play a respected team because Wumu is one of the former champions like Mooks, and I think it is going to be a very good quarter-final. This is not the first time we are playing Wumu. We played at the finals of 2015 where we won 4-0, and we played at the finals of 2017 where we lost it 2-0. So anything can happen, and as always I say, let the best team win. And
a very tricky tie. YMCA is a strong team since they might lead the group. Richard Nkumba, Ugema, those are two very good teams. We are lucky that our face such a team doesn't have much experience in the league. We entered at the same time. We are just praying hard that our boys keep fit and start from injuries. Otherwise, it's a fair.
There's been fair on my side, and we are ready for a game. That game, it is a tough game because as the football is concerned, Moobs is not a simple team to play, but we are going to make all the possibilities. We are going on the drawing board to prepare the boys for a game, and I'm very sure that according to the boys we are God with us, so we are going to take that read on that. I'm very sure that we are going to win the game.
Now, in the swimming sport, Uganda Swimming Federation will mark belated International Swimming Federation Aquatics Day with a grand event that involves open water swimming at Aero Beach in Entebbe this weekend, as we hear in this report.
All along, Uganda Swimming Federation has focused on other swimming categories and in the process neglected the key area of open water swimming. But now, and the occasion of celebrating a belated International Swimming Federation Aquatics Day. Uganda is to fully embrace open swimming, which offers another medal chance at international events.
The main driver for this year's celebrations for us to emphasize water safety and talk about issues that touch on water safety. In the first few months, we've had several issues concerning drowning and safety issues on especially open water bodies like Lake Victoria. We'd also like to have a chat on environmental issues and just how to preserve the environment, especially the lake.
The Federation will launch the open water swim category with a 1.5 kilometer exhibition swim, on top of educating the public about various issues, including water diseases.
But our highlight will be our launch of open water swimming. We'll have a 1.5 kilometer exhibition open water sprint at the same venue. And then we'll have fun. We'll celebrate aquatics.
Already, Uganda has taken part in various open water swimming competitions, with another team to be dispatched to Tunisia later this year for a Kana event. The FINA World Aquatics Day is a day to celebrate and encourage the power of aquatic sports for social well-being and development in all corners of the world. John Barnes, Central reporter.
And of course, that does bring us to the very end of News Tonight at 10. Thank you so much for being a part of us, Kija.
And of course, Patricia, as the norm, before we leave you, let's have a quick reminder of our top stories. In our news tonight, Uganda Airlines inauguration, a deal for business.
Tension in Kamocha's 2,000 people face eviction.
Elsewhere in the world, Amazon fires, Brazil to reject G7 offer of $22 million in aid.
And in sports, boxing now a sure bet to get All Africa Games medal.
I think it was one of those sports stories that has actually given me hope that we shall get medals, especially when it comes to boxing, and that is, of course, at the All Africa Games. We do hope to get some medals there. And
do we have Mr. Porridge?
No. That is not there. But of course, we have to rally behind our team that is representing us at the All Africa Games, and we just wish them all the best. But that brings us to the end of News Tonight. Thank you so much for having kept us company on sign language. It has been Mugalu Mohammed.
And I'm Patricia Lokoma.
For now, it's a good night.
Have a blessed night.